What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 11, Moonshine and Monthversary. So I'm not going to do a step-by-step. I'm just going to give my overall conclusion of each couple. Let's talk about Jasmine and Eris. So Jasmine, sweetheart, my love, you need to ask for a divorce. You need to ask for a divorce and go about your business and go home. This is just not it. This is not going to work. And the reason why I say that it's not going to work, I think it's because Jasmine's personality has left the building. When Eris told his friend that, it's just not, he's not feeling any kind of physical attraction for her, but he's looking for some type of a connection. He's waiting for some type of what did he say exactly? He said that he is waiting on a vibe. And he gives these examples. He says, how a guy could be with a woman that he's not physically attracted to, but he will still find her attractive because she may have some type of a swag, a certain style about her that he finds attractive. Or she may have this really bomb sense of humor that he finds attractive. And, she keeps him laughing all day and all night. And that's what draws him to her. So there's like some type of a connection there. There's something there that can attract a man to a woman other than physical looks. And with Jasmine, that's what he's waiting for. Physically, she's not his type. And I would really, really want to see what exactly is Eris's type and how far removed is Jasmine from that. But anyways, so physically he's not attracted to her. So he's looking for some type of a connection, something else about her that can draw him to her. And he can't find it. And he can't find it because her personality has left the building. And her personality is not there anymore because being with a man that you find attractive, that you kind of see a future with, that you want to be with, and him telling you that I don't find you attractive, blah, 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 I'm really struggling with attraction. That right there killed her personality. Now, side note, I have a question. Eris, if you never found her physically attractive, why did you talk so much about sex with her? That's what I'm not understanding. Why would you ask her, what is your favorite sexual position if you don't want her to do that position on you? Like, why do you care then? Why are you talking about your orgies and your threesomes and your one night stands if you don't find her attractive at all, but you always want to talk about sex? I don't get it. Okay, back on track here. So I think her personality is no longer there because this relationship, this marriage, this experience has completely deadened her inside and made her dead inside. She's like a zombie. She's just a shell of who she used to be. And so he's trying to find something, but he can't. Now she's just going through the motions of a good wife. Like when he said that, she took care of him during COVID. When he got COVID, she took really good care of him. He talks about how, she'll make a great mom. And, she's very loving and she's caring and she's this and she's that. All of these things she's got, except that certain something, that personality, that pizzazz, that spark. It's just not there. Now, it was there in the beginning. It definitely was there until she realized that she was living with a man that is not attracted to her. And as a woman, you think that if nothing else, the one thing that you can be sure of is that a man's going to want to sleep with you. Now, he probably does want to sleep with her. Of course, he could sleep with her, but he said that he doesn't want to do that because he knows how she feels about him. And if he were to sleep with her, just to sleep with her, it would make her, according to Eris, it would make her even more attached to him, and it would be even worse for him when it comes time to break it off, because now you slept with her, you've gotten her more emotionally attached to you, more connected to you, and it's going to be that much harder to tell her that you don't want to be with her at the end. So it's kind of like he's giving off hints that he's probably going to choose to not want to be with her on decision day. And I think it's just too late in the game right now for them to find any kind of deeper connection that would lead to him being physically attracted to her. It's just too late in the game, especially with her being all mopey and droopy. I feel like she's mopey and droopy. Her going around just kind of like always, down in the dumps. I think it's just it's just too late for any hope of him connecting with her on any deeper level. And then what I don't like about Jasmine is that whenever they're in a group setting and the question comes up, well, how are y'all doing? How are y'all doing in the intimacy department? And she is so quick to say, well, I'm attracted to him, but he's not attracted to me. Why do you have to lead with that? Why can't you just say, okay, intimacy, we're not there yet, we're still getting to know each other, but everywhere else in our relationship, we're having a good time, we're having fun, or we're struggling with communication, or we're struggling with making enough time for one another. It's always, she says this every single time, well, he knows that I'm attracted to him, he's just not attracted to me. I don't know if she thinks that sympathy is going to spark something in him. Like if he feels sorry for her, he's going to end up being attractive to, I don't know what she thinks is going to happen when she talks about that in that way. So I think it's too late. They have another month left. There is no way that they're going to connect. He is not going to find that vibe with her. They need to just call it quits. They gave it a whole month, a month and a week or whatever. They gave it time. They gave it enough time for this process. And this hope that, things might get better as the marriage progresses past decision day. I don't think they're going to make it past decision day. I don't think it's going to happen. So yeah, they need to just call it quits. Kirsten and Shaquille. I'm very confused with Kirsten and Shaquille is just as confused as I am. So Kirsten seems to be giving off mixed signals, and Shaquille talked about in the after party how she'll say things in a group setting that she won't say to him one-on-one. For example, when they went to dinner with everybody else and the question came up about their intimacy, and I think the question was, do y'all have chemistry? And Kirsten was like, oh, just a little bit. And then when they went home later, Shaquille questioned her about that. He was like, when you said there was only a little bit of chemistry between us, why didn't you ever tell me that? And then she says, well, you've never asked. And then he says, do I have to ask? And then she was like, well, I ask you. Why can't you ask me? And he's like, okay, let's play your game, Kirsten. How do you feel about our marriage right now? And she says the communication is horrible and they need to work on their intimacy, which confused the hell out of him and me, because I thought that she was wanting to take it extremely slow, that she was trying to build an attraction for him. She's just got used to his bald head, so she needs to get used to the rest of him. So he was confused about that. And so he said in the after party, he said that when Kirsten told him that, he didn't like that, because he's like, it's not all about what she wants at her time. And just because he's the one that is more attracted to her than she is to him, it doesn't mean that she can run the show and just, play with them like a toy. Like, okay, now I'm ready. Come hither, my love. Now I'm ready for you. And then he just comes running. He's like, no, it's not going to work like that. I'm not going to be at her beck and call. She snaps her fingers and I just come running. It's not going to work like that. When I was trying to get closer to her, she held me back, and I respected that. And we were doing everything on Kirsten's time. I was respecting her. Whatever she wanted, I gave it to her. She wanted space, I gave her space. Now that she's ready, I'm supposed to just drop everything and come running to her? No, it's not going to work like that. And I was glad that Shaquille took that approach. Like, no, I'm a full grown man. I'm a full grown adult. I'm not a child. I'm not a toy. I'm not a dog. So no, you're not going to just, control and, give out demands and orders. I'm just supposed to take it. So I was like, good for you, Shaquille. I was really proud of him for that. Nicole and Chris. Okay, so Nicole and Chris, they're doing fine, but I still feel like there's something going on just slightly below the surface. But overall, they're doing really, really well. I like Nicole and I like Chris, but I feel like I'm a little bit on pins and needles with them, but I don't know. So I'm going to talk about something now that I should have talked about in my last review, because this was from last week's episode and it's not that big of a deal, but I just have to talk about it. What I want to know is, in last week's episode, when he said that, he wanted to warn her, and he was like, I just want to warn you that you might see something that you're not going to understand. So let me explain. And he talked about how when the producers asked him, what did he think of her? And he said, oh, she's beautiful, beautiful smile, beautiful eyes, but she's a little bit thicker than what I'm used to, but in a good way. So when he was explaining that to her, and she took it out, I was thinking to myself, okay, and I should have said this last week, if you're still attracted to her, why even mention the fact that she's a little bit thicker than what you're used to? Why even say that? If her thickness is still good to you, why bring it up in that way? Or why bring it up at all? Just say, oh, I find her very attractive. Her smile, her eyes, her body. I love the whole package. I love everything about her. Just say that. Why do you have to say, I like this and I like that, but she's a little bit thicker than what I'm used to, but in a good way? Why even say that? So that, coupled with the fact that he doesn't even want to live with her after decision day, but he wants to stay married to her, but he doesn't want to live with her. That's what makes me think that there could be something a little bit below the surface. There's something called love bombing, I think, where someone shows you like a lot of love and attention in the beginning. They're just, like just keep on bombing you with one love action after another, and then when you are settled into the relationship, it all fizzles away. I think that's what love bombing is, and I'm wondering if Chris is doing that. Like too good to be true in the beginning, but then later on it's gonna kind of taper off. Like he's excited in the beginning of a relationship, but then as the relationship progresses, he kind of starts losing interest or he starts losing momentum. What I did like was when Nicole said, I never have to question if he likes me or if he wants to be with me because he always shows that he does. I thought that was really sweet of her to notice that. When they were watching their wedding video, she got really critical of herself. She talked about how ugly her makeup was, how her hair was falling. She wasn't pleased with how she looked on her wedding day. And, she took down that wedding picture that they had put in their apartment for them. She took it down because she thought she looked horrible. And Chris is like, he says, in his confessional that it's kind of like wearing on me. It's kind of getting annoying how she's always so self-critical of herself, so self-critical. And, I'm wondering if that's a sign of something. I don't know what, just of something. Moving on to Clint and Gina. So Clint and Gina did fine this week. For their 1 month anniversary, they decided to do a Jamaican redemption theme, which is to redo all the things they did in Jamaica because they did kind of like have a horrible time in Jamaica. So they hiked to a waterfall. They had a good time there. They had a Jamaican meal, had a good time. I don't think they liked the food, but they enjoyed spending time with one another. They are really starting to enjoy each other's company, and I'm glad because Gina thought it was a bad idea for them to live together, and I hope that she's eating those words because it's not as bad as she thought it was going to be. During dinner, they were giving each other compliments. He complimented her on how she runs her business. I know that's very important to her, and she also complimented him, and she says that she was looking for someone who was loyal, compassionate, and adventurous, and she got all of that in Clint. So they're having a nice time. Is it like crazy in love, the beginning of this beautiful love story? Probably not. I don't see like that much of a physical attraction between them, but they are enjoying each other's company. Now, I understand that Pastor Cal, he keeps preaching about this thing about physical attraction growing from getting to know someone better, getting to know someone as a person, and being more attracted to their good qualities, and that can lead to a physical attraction. Seeing how loving they are, how they show up, how caring they are, how present they are in situations. Like the more you get to know someone, the more attracted you start to become to them. That can work in a situation like Gina and Clint. It cannot work in a situation like Eris and Jasmine, because Jasmine's personality, she's just not there. Emotionally, she's just not there anymore. She's just going through the motions. She's not there anymore. So I don't see that happening with them, and that's why they need to call it quits. But it's possible with Gina and Clint. Now, how likely will it happen? Not very likely, but it's something that I would tell Gina and Clint to hang in there. I would tell Eris and Jasmine to just go ahead and do the divorce and get the divorce. At the group dinner, the only thing that I want to say about the group dinner is I don't know. I kind of feel like Nicole and Chris, because they're doing so much better than everybody else, they think that they're like the mini experts of the show, or the junior experts. The way that they like to dish out, the way that Nicole likes to dish out advice, girl, y'all both better say yes on decision day, and y'all both better stay married forever and ever after that. The way you like to act like you really know how how to direct these other couples. Your own relationship better be up to par. And another thing that I found out during the after party, Shaquille said that Nicole will write little notes and slip them under the couple's doors of their apartments with advice, marital advice. And the advice is based on what the women are telling her that they're struggling with in their marriages. So, for example, Shaquille said that Nicole has slipped a note under their door based on, and she wrote, whatever advice she gave them on the note, it was based on what Kirsten had confided in Nicole. And so Shaquille was like, why can't Kirsten just come to me directly and tell me directly? Why do we have to go through Nicole? I mean, we love Nicole, but why do we have to go through Nicole? Just talk to me. Just tell me. So I was like, okay, that's unusual. That's very, very unusual. The fact that you think you know it all to be dishing out advice like that. Okay, girl, whatever. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. I don't think I've missed anything. Oh, so like I kind of see things like in a graph. So with Gina and Clint, they started really low, but they're slowly rising, very, very slowly. Nicole and Chris, they've always been even keel, even keel. Jasmine and Eris, they started kind of good. Now they're slowly falling. And then Shaquille and Kirsten, it's just up and down all over the place. One minute you're thinking, oh, they're going in the right direction. She's finally seeing, what a great guy he is. And then they go 10 steps back. You know what I mean? They move forward and then they step back, and you never know what you're going to get at any given minute with Kirsten and Shaquille. But Shaquille is a great guy, and Kirsten needs to realize that he is a great, great guy. Keisha Knight Pullum even told him in the after party, she was like, you know what, Shaquille, I like you because he knows enough. He kind of understands the concept of happy wife, happy life. So the advice they were giving him, it was him, all the things that he could do to work on himself. It really wasn't so much, what she needed to do, what she needed to change. They were telling him what he needed to do, and he accepted it. He received it, and he was like, yeah, okay, I'll try that. Yes, I hear you. I'll try that. I'll try to change this and that about myself. And so he's a good guy. He's successful, a hard worker. He loves family. He's just a great guy. I think that if Kirsten says no on decision day, she will end up regretting this for the rest of her life. And if she dares to come back to him after decision day, if she tells him no and then wants to crawl back into his life, I hope he shuts the door in her face, because she needs to realize right now what kind of a man he is. And I think he's a really, really great guy. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, please go ahead and subscribe, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.